So what we're going to do in this tutorial is set up a page template for a website. And what I'm going to use is the Computer Crazy case study. So the website for the company Computer Crazy. As you can see, I've already linked the site to Dreamweaver. So I've got all my folders. Oops, let's just go back in. I've got all my folders and other folders and files all set up for Computer Crazy. So to start off with, let's set up the template. So I'm going to do File, New. At this point I'm just going to set it up as a blank page, HTML page. And now this part of Dreamweaver shows you some default page layouts. So these are a number of page layouts which you can choose. You get a little thumbnail which shows you what the page layout would look like. And this is Dreamweaver doing a lot of the hard work in laying out the page for you. I'm going to look at 2-column fixed, and I want the sidebar on the right and the header and footer. So this is the style I want, and this is Dreamweaver's going to give us all the code straight away to do that. And we get some default things in there. So the layout that Dreamweaver's given us, it's divided the page into a number of divisions, a number of areas if you like, using div tags. I've clicked in one called header. If you look down on the bottom of the design screen, and if I click, I've actually got a tag that's division tag, and it's called header, and the styling for that tag, so for the header division should I say, the styling for that is with Dreamweaver is the CSS styles, and you can look on the right panel here and you can see all the styles for each of the divisions. So each division can have a different background, different text style, even lots of other different features. So we've got grey here, we've got a sidebar which is grey, and we've got a footer that's grey. So at the moment I want to set this up as a template. I'm going to just save it, just to make sure I do save it as a template before I go any further. And I'm just going to call it page template. Remember, a template is not an HTML file. It's a template for creating an HTML file. So all the web pages we create for this website will be based on this template file. So I want to basically set up the header and footer to be a standard, I'm going to use images, so I have a standard layout, and I want to make sure that any other page just puts content in this main content section and on this side here. So the template is just an easy way of getting the banner, the header, the footer, and later on in another tutorial we look at putting menu bars in there as well. The things that you want the same on every page. Let's change a few things. First of all, I don't like this grey at the side, this dark grey. I'm going to make that white. That's actually controlled by the body tag. So if I click on the body tag down here on the left, and I know that I can change the style for any division and any tag in this panel where it says CSS styles. If you can't see that on your version, then go to Window, and you can basically highlight any panel you click on, either appears in the right or is closed. So let's open up CSS styles, and also I need the insert panel. I'm going to be using that in a moment. So looking at another way to look at the styles, if you click on all, it shows all the CSS styles, all the styling that's available for this page at the moment. You can see that I've got a style called body. I could have also got in there through the current option by looking at the body tag down here. Either way, let's just amend the body styling so that the background's white. So I click on here, it's actually set on the background tab, and I just do the drop down and make that white. Okay, so let's change the padding on the side of the page to white. This sidebar, I want to make that white as well. Now that's got its own division, and that division appears to have its own styling, which has changed the background to grey. So I've clicked on the sidebar here. If I don't know what styling is being used for it, just check on current, and you're going to edit the CSS styles for the current selection, which is the sidebar. So if I click here and I go to background again, and I make that white, now I've got the page beginning to look a little like I want, which is the header and footer area having a different colour than the content area, which is the main content and the sidebar. For the header, I'm not going to change the background, because what I'm going to do is put an image over the header. I've just deleted the text. I don't want this H1 tag there either, so I'm going to delete that as I click down the bottom here and I delete it. So I'm still in the header area. The H1 tag's gone, it seems to have shrunk, but the header area is just shrinking to fit the size of the content. I want to get an image in here. Lots of ways of doing it, but one useful thing in Dreamweaver, if you click down the bottom, you've either got the Files option, which shows you all your folders and files. If you click on Assets though, it shows you in a different format the things you've got available in all those files, in those folders should I say. For example, all the images, you can get little thumbnails of them. So if I click on the images, I can see that I've got a number of different images. I'm looking for one that I know is there called the banner, and it's this one here. So I've got a little vision, and this is my image, and I want that image to go in my header. I could do insert from the top here, insert image. If I go down, there's an image tag there, so insert image. Or in this case, because I found the image I want, I can just drag it up and click here. I'm just going to give it some alternative text, and it's appeared, so the image has been dragged and is now in my header division. A couple of problems you can see is that there's this grey, the background showing through, and the image is slanted slightly to the right over here. So what we want to do is move it so it's left aligned, and the way you do that is you want to change the style for the header. If I clicked, I've selected down the bottom here the division header. If I hover up the top here, let's do that again, sorry. If I hover up the top here, I've got some padding. What it's showing me is that this area here to the left, there's a 20 pixel padding, so I need to change the CSS style for the header. I'm on current, I've got the header selected here, I'm on current here, so if I go to the pencil to edit it, I know I'm working with the header. And if I go to the box tab, this is the box around the header area, I can see that there's a 10 pixel right padding to the right of the box and left, and I want to get rid of all those padding. So if I just click there, it just says 0 all the way down, that looks okay. And now my image is correctly aligned, if you like, my header becomes the image. I want to do something similar with the footer now. So I click in the footer, I get rid of the text there. I'm going to leave the paragraph. I'm not going to delete this tag in the footer. I'm going to leave that paragraph tag there, and there's a reason for that, is that it shows me basically where the image is going to go. I need some content in this footer. The rest of it's the same, so now I'm in the footer. Let's just drag my image over to it. I've got a couple down here. This time correctly I've actually saved the footer as a JPEG. I didn't do that with the banner, so it was a bit large, but never mind. And all I do is drag this over to the footer area. Once again, give it some alternative text. Footer. Similar sort of problem. I've got the actual image is slightly right aligned. So basically what I want to do is check on the footer. If I click on the footer, I see that there's some padding to the left and right, so I want to get rid of those. So how do I do it? I know I'm on the footer here, so I go to my CSS styles. I'm selecting the current style, which is the footer, and I edit it. Now if I go to the box, I can see there's similar padding as there was in the other one, in the banner. So I click here, same for all, press OK. Now it's looking correctly aligned, but strangely I've got the grey background of the footer showing through. I've got a couple of options here. I could make the footer white, the background, and then all you'd see is the image. But this actual padding is not coming from the footer, because I just got rid of it. I got rid of all the padding. It's the image itself. The image itself has got some padding around it. So to get rid of that, I actually click on image, IMG tag. So I'm selecting that. And let's have a look. If I click the edit rule for that, and I find that that's got some padding. It would be nice to actually leave some padding, but I'm going to make that 0. So if I put 0 and same for all, let's just see what it looks like. So now we have a footer which has no padding down there. Maybe I should have left a little bit of padding just above the image to keep it separate from any content, but let's leave it at that for the moment. So what we've actually done now is create the first part of our template. We've got the banner, which will appear on every HTML page based on this template, and we've got the footer also, which will appear on every page. Let's stop at this point. So I'm going to save this as a template. It's warning me, giving me this warning about editable regions. We're going to go on to the next section and look at that in a moment.